Alrighty then. What is going on, everybody? What's going on? Can everybody hear me? Am I good? 5x5? And am I all jerky and jerky? Hey, jerky. Shorts. Oh. Am I coming in? Can you guys hear me? Should I put my headphones on and see? Hello, hello. Video working, volume low? Is it low? Is it low? How about now? Better? Better, same, worse. What's going on? Victor Wyatt's the first one to chime in. You got nothing? Uh-oh. That's probably a problem. What is going on? Much better? That's good. So it's just Harrigan then. Let me see. I gotta wait for this thing to load. Load. Loud and clear, says Hoos. Well then that's all I need. That's all I need is the Hoos man. Because if anybody knows whether I'm coming in 5x5, it's Hoos. Morning jitters. All right. So I am pretty discombobulated today. But you ask why, Sean? Well, that's because Sean's been prepping for a game, and Sean takes forever to prep. Because, I don't know, where do I put the stuff? Do I put it all in Foundry? I don't know. We'll see. Now I'm going to be working half out of Foundry, half out of a PDF, which will be fun. And then, of course, I got to, put some stuff together for today. Verizon support comment. Great. Salt Heart of Saltlandia. Good to see you. All right, so a welcome and greetings to Victor, who is the first one, followed by Wayne, Harrigan, and Roger. Roger must have had to grab coffee at last minute because usually he's in the top one or two people to chime in. The short, so YouTube has, so commenting to Wayne and seeing the short video at the beginning, YouTube on streaming allows you to put a video before the show begins. So as soon as I start or I go to the live stream, that video plays. And then I think it stops. And then it's kind of it. And then you're waiting. So ideally, that would play. And then the stream would start. So I put in there something for a little something as you guys wait. Choppy video, what a shock. Like, it's fine on OBS right now, so hopefully it'll iron out. I don't know why it does that. I don't know if I just need to get a different computer or what. I guess I have to buy a new one. Sorry, honey. Good now. Okay. It might start out a bit on the shitty side. Anyways, how's everybody doing? Good to see everybody. Thanks for joining again. I'm just mumbling and rambling to get my kind of senses about me. Blake, cheers, buddy. My Delta Green character can walk through mirrors. Well, that's maybe. So I'm running music for a darkened room, from a darkened room today, the scenario, Delta Green, my Halloween my effort at putting a Halloween game together. I think I'm going to do it earlier than Halloween next time. I think it's more apropos, if you will, than to do it after this Halloween. Because I think leading up to Halloween is much better than, oh, Halloween's here and gone. Now it's Christmas season. Ugh. Shudder. So this show will be, I mean, typically we go like 2 hours. I'm going to go 90 at maybe max. So just as an FYI, we might cut it short. Not that some of you guys can probably use some time to yourselves or whatever you want to do on this fine Saturday morning, Saturday, November 4th morning. Question du jour. Ugh, see? The stream catches up with me. I forget to prep a question. I thought there was one last week we didn't use that I thought was pretty good. I don't know. Okay, here's one. Here's one for you. Softball. Are you going to BSRCon 3? And going means getting online and playing some games in January. BSRCon 3, the third year we're doing this, an online convention. Some of you have not only attended, but actually run games and things of that nature. So are you going? If you're going, are you playing or running or both? And then if you're running, what game are you going to run? If you haven't submitted a game yet, but you're contemplating running, what games are you contemplating running? Inquiring minds want to know. And Blake says, yep, he's going, but he's just playing for this one, which is fantastic. Is there a game you're hoping to play that if it's offered, Blake? See, this is a dynamic live stream. Like, it's not static question, done, finished. Like, I ask poignant follow-up questions. Hoos? Yes, he is going both Hearn and The Walking Dead. I saw that come through, Hoos. The Walking Dead. According to Matthias at Free League, one of the better games that they're putting together. Just saying. Thanks for running, buddy. Gabe says yes. He's going, still wrestling with running Conan O'Brien, and or Swords and Wizardry. So Conan the Late Night RPG or Swords and Wizardry, which is going to be fantastic. Or is it wrestling, Conan the wrestling game? Or is it you're wrestling, it's going to be a game about Conan wrestling Swords and Wizardry? Is that, it's morning. And it's like, you're kind of tuning in for free other than your internet connection. What do you expect, guys? Come on. Salt Hearts of Saltlandia, running a Burn 2D6 space opera adventure. If you don't get a chance to play Burn 2D6, or you haven't, this guy, get in on that. It's a new game by Salt Heartlandia Productions. Actually, that's not the name of the company. What's the name of the company? Salt Heart. Go to drive-thru, put in Burn 2D6. Go and buy it. All right? If you don't do anything today, do that. Another thing you may want to do is hit this thing or this thing. What's up, Laramie? Who else? Orcus Dorcas, I saw you arrive. I think the bells and horns chimed and rang. Saltheart does say, hoping to play DCC Lankmar. That's awesome. So somebody's running DCC Lankmar. That'd be cool. I mean, give the players what they want, for Pete's sakes. Victor Wyatt says, I will be there to play and run. I'm contemplating running Walking Dead. Ooh, another Walking Dead offer. Interesting. You know, it would be kind of neat. Just an idea. Is I may consider playing in Hoose's Walking Dead game as well as Victor Wyatt's Walking Dead game, assuming that they are not being run at the same time, in which case I probably have a smidgen of control over that. But, and then compare and contrast game master styles in the game itself. Who says, really want to play Conan 2D20? Who's, have you played Conan 2D20 at all? Wayne says, registered and one event submitted for my RPG Rustwater. Post-magical apocalypse. I plan to play 2, may run 1 other. So check out Rustwater. Isn't that a drink? Rustwater? I think we used to order it at the college bars. 3 Rustwaters, please. No, I know what it was. Swamp water. I don't know if we ordered it at a bar or if we just made it. Harrigan says, attending, running a game, contemplating what I will run, considering the Black Hack, Mythic Bastion Land, many others in the running. Yeah. See what happens when you have too many choices? Analysis paralysis. Case in point. So you should only have 2 RPGs in your collection. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, don't leave. Just kidding. It's a joke, folks. If you don't get my humor by now, come on. If you're new here, sit tight. Michael Holland, I'm playing, and consider running maybe 2D6 Star Wars. Still pondering. If it is worth anything, probably not, but I'll say it anyway. I would consider Star Wars D6. See how I'm like going to play in all these games? It's not going to happen, but I would love to. I mean, maybe I don't run anything. I play Star Wars D6. That is the game. I don't know if I've mentioned this before. That is the one game. Try to think now. That is the one game I think I've owned the longest and never played. Like I have my original Star Wars WEG. It's the thin book, not the revised version, which I think came out afterwards. And then I repurchased it when Fantasy Flight re-released it in the slipcase. I've never played WEG Star Wars D6. I know. I have Top Secret, Star Wars FASA Star Wars. I have different iterations of old school D&D. But I've never played Star Wars D6. What kind of Star Wars RPG player am I? Blake Ryan, Conan the Barbarian versus Andy Richter. Booyah. I see what you did there. Victor says, I'd love to try out Harn. Never got to play it before. Orcus Dorcas is going. Playing and consider running either WFRP in Cincinnati or the D sanction. Or the D. Snyder sanction. See, this is what we got to do. We need more mashups. Playing WFRP, which is you play a radio disc jockey called Dr. Johnny Black Fever out of Cincinnati. You're welcome. Salt Heart RPG LLC is the company. Go by Burn 2D6. Caverna, good to see you. Morning or afternoon, if you will. Or evening. It's all relative. Whoops. Who says yes twice? Brilliant Game Master. So he has played. Nice. Well, good. Saltheart says, just saw Wayne's Rustwater post. Hope to get into that too. Might have like a record showing of podcasters at BSRCon 3. I hope, you'd think maybe we'd get a little publicity, maybe have the word spread amongst these prolific RPG podcasters like Jason from Nerds Variety Podcast, Analytical Dice podcast. What else is there? What other ones am I? There's so many. So many. There's the What Would the Smart Party Do, even though they don't show up here on the stream much. Gaz and Baz, I think, right? Orcus Dorcas and the Titter Pigs. Orcus's Dorcas's live unboxing YouTube. Like, all these guys that just have, huge reach. BSRCon will be like max sales this year. Max badge sales. Max attendance. Might have to move the venue. Laramie says, I'll probably hang out in the lounge at BSRCon, shy on mental bandwidth, running CheapCon February 1, 2, 3, 4. Go to CheapCon if you are in the Iowa area. Sorry, what is the question? Caverna says. Caverna, are you going to BSRCon? Are you attending? Are you going to play or run or both? And then if you're going to play, what games do you hope to play? If you're going to run games, which games do you hope to submit? Lots of moving parts in that question. Laramie says, I need to decide what to run for that. Death in Space? Go for it, buddy. Death in Space. Yeah. There you go. I don't think so. Oh, come on, Caverna. You will be missed. Who's Carl? WFRP in Cincinnati, Venus Flytrap. Yeah, baby. And to all my fellow listeners out there, booger. You don't get the reference, kids. You gotta do some Googling. Hell yeah, I'm going to make a WFRP in Cincinnati shirt. Yes. Like with flying turkeys. Turkeys falling from the sky. There it is. Frozen turkeys. Better to be part of WFRP. Like, you should have frozen turkeys falling out of the sky in the game when you run WFRP and see if anybody actually understands the reference. It's just a suggestion. I mean, Andy Hall beat me to it. Hey, good to see you, Andy. I'm catching up in the chat, as you guys can see. So the fact that the chat is delayed and then now I'm just getting up to you guys here means that I'm even further back than I even anticipated. Jason C. and I will be talking about it soon. Jason C. Cordova? Give Analytic Dice a call and leave us a comment. What bothers you about our podcast, or what do you love? All right, Kevin. I'm going to be listening to you, specifically you. That audio. Tighten it up, yo. Harrigan joining Jason for a sequel. Jason C. Is it Jason? Is Jason's last name on the Jason's Variety podcast? Is his last initial C? Or do I have a podcast crossed? Oh, Connerly. It is C. I keep forgetting Jason's last name. Last names. When you're on a Discord, you're even lucky to know the person's actual name. It's going to be fun. We got a decent amount of games already. Some of you in the chat have already submitted some. I've called you out. I think Jason Connerly's running he's like, yeah, I'll run 2 or something. I think he's up to 4. So he's kind of going gangbusters. So thanks, Jason, if you see this. If you don't, that's cool too. But thank you for doing that. Chuck, what's going on, Chuck, man? Good to see you, buddy. Is this the first time you've joined? It's okay if you have. Good to see you. Laramie says, yes, good luck deciphering my handle on Discord. Great. Orcus Dorcas, yeah, I think Cordova thinks he's too good to slum it here. Well, you know, it's okay. He's a busy guy. Like, he gets a pass. I mean, I wouldn't do it for anybody, but Jason, he's a busy guy. As a matter of fact, the Silt Verses. Have you guys seen this? One of the games he just launched. They. I say he, they, as in like Gauntlet, maybe, like the Gauntlet. And I did not know Silt Verses is kind of like an IP, right? So is it their first IP that they started, or not started, but have taken and converted into an RPG? Jim says, guess I should buy a badge. Yeah, I guess, Jim. I mean, I am getting over a cold. Speaking of BS Archon, I have to apologize to everybody publicly, and I probably should send out another email. There's a couple snafus, obviously, that went off on November 1st, which was 3 days ago of this recording, where I had it set up to open up badge registration and event submission at the same time at noon Central Time, and that did not happen. I think I was like literally 25 minutes late. And I just knew. I should have tied like a huge rubber band around my hand to cut off the circulation, wondering why I'm cutting off the circulation to my hand. But then I'd probably cut off the circulation to my hand, and then I probably wouldn't feel my hand, and then therefore I'd still forget. But I had an appointment that morning, but I thought I would be like done. I had to take Augie to the vet. And so I thought, okay, I should be done by noon. It's kind of I have to take Augie to this appointment. I have to. It's not like I couldn't change it or anything. And I'm like, I know it's going to overlap. Nope, not going to overlap. I'm like, okay, great. All I need is an internet connection to like click a few buttons. Sure enough, like running around, trying to gather all the information about Augie's prognosis and stuff like that. I'm like, I go to pick him up. And I look at my phone and the Discord's going bonkers. And I'm like, oh no. And I look at the clock. I'm like, it's 20 after 12. I'm like, shit, sure enough, forgot. Yeah, I know, believe it or not, I forgot. And then you don't get to set it. Like, there's probably a reason, I guess, that they don't have it where you could be like, okay, at this time, this day, open badge reg. You literally have to go in and like click the button. Luckily, I was like at my car, pulled out my phone, and it was really easy to do it on a mobile device. So I apologize. And then the links were wrong. Like anyways. So there was a couple links in a couple spots that weren't correct. And so people were using those links to try to access. Not the smoothest experience, but you know what? I don't think anybody died. So we got that going for us. Is Augie okay? I've had somebody comment about, I turn on the dad, talk about D&D talk, and this guy's talking about his cat. So I will just say this quickly, because some of you know this. When I was at Gamehole Con, great convention, seeing everybody that attended, thinking of those that I missed that couldn't show up, playing games. On Friday, and I knew this news was coming. Friday, I'm like at the Tales from the Loop game, and literally 5 minutes before the game ends, I get a text message from my wife who gets a call from the veterinarian that says Augie has cancer. So you can imagine, like, for some of you that don't like have an affinity for pets, this may seem like not a big deal, but for some, can be earth shaking. So yeah, Augie, that we got the word that night, that day, that afternoon. And then, so I had to kind of balance myself between that news and the con. So the appointment that I had was his first appointment I could get him into an oncologist. So we'll see. It hasn't spread to his lymph nodes or anything, and it's like I can't remember the actual scientific name, but it's essentially a bump right on the ridge of his nose. That's grown and kind of, and it's affecting his breathing on one side of his nose too. So we'll see if it's treatable. We got to get in a biopsy at the university. So that's at the end of this month, which is a little longer than I'd like to wait, but it's the first that we can get in. And they say that if you want to go somewhere else, you're to be driving a long ways. So there you go. Yeah, I appreciate all the thoughts and wishes that people have expressed. Thanks, Chuck, and everybody else. We'll see. He's, we hope for the best. I don't know. It could be benign. It has not been conclusive. So somebody's like, well, I don't understand. They called you and said he has cancer. That's from a blood test. Pathology looked at it. But it wasn't overly conclusive. Like, there is still a slight chance that it's not. I don't know. I'm trying to be realistic here. So anyways, there you go. More cat talk. I know, right? That's freaking out. Cat. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Kev. I apologize. Condolences, buddy. Dogs, cats, man, pets, they're heartbreakers. This isn't our first rodeo, but, and even despite the guy crapping on my floor all the time and clawing me and ruining my streams, he's a part of our routine, and Tam is his person, so she's taking it pretty hard. But yeah, anyways, on to lighter things. So that's the deal. And so BSRCon, what a fiasco. But it's up and good now. The whole rollout's been relatively smooth and configuring and all that. Relatively smooth compared to years past. Like, a couple times I had some issues connecting to Discord and things of that nature. So, will someone run a poo game? Oh, Caverna, what are you doing? We all want to know if your cat's okay. This is important stuff. Hey, Chris, good to see you. Thanks. Yeah. So he's himself. He's eating and doing his cat stuff. I think there's a little bit of an attitude change. He sneezes quite a bit. So let's move on from Augie, because I know some people doesn't bring guys to talk about his cat. I want to listen to D&D talk. I'm sorry. If you're a hater, you're going to get mocked. That's the deal. And I know of other people that have shared that they've gone through some similar situations lately too. So it sucks. It just sucks. All right. What should we talk about? Let's get into. I went to the news of EN World, and there wasn't super cool, lots of neat stuff to talk about necessarily. So, to be clear, I was requesting more at talk. More at talk? More at talk. What's more at talk? Cat talk. More cat talk. Is that what you were talking about? Oh, Kevin, you're going to freaking make everybody cry. All right. Let's see. Let's whatever. So I'm excited to get to BSRCon. It's in January. There's a little time. Believe it or not, it'll sneak up before we know it with holidays and everything. The next step. So you have some time. So I'll just finish up on BSR3. BSRCon 3. Oh, what are you doing, Sean? Oh, thanks for autocomplete the wrong URL. So I'll just say this. Got time to get a badge reg. You got time to submit an event. It's not going to close. Event submission doesn't close until literally the 19th of January, I think is the deadline, which is the Friday the con starts. And even then you can muster dynamically, but I wouldn't recommend it. doing it like on the 18th and 19th to throw up an ad hoc game. A lot of them don't fill like a live con. People are hanging out. I mean, I guess it could, but I haven't seen a ton of success with like very ad hoc last minute games. Games off grid that have kind of been out like a week or two maybe, but submit a game if you want. The con is January 19th, 20th, and 21st, all online. $10 for the whole weekend, whether you participate in one game, 10 games, or one day, or all the days. It's just one flat fee. Half of the proceeds is going to go towards the Lymphoma and Leukemia Society here in America. It's a charity that fights blood cancers. I think we have donated close to, I think, $1,000 in the last couple of years. So there you go. But having said event submission, if you wait too long, event reg is December 1st and 8th, something like that. Yeah, the 1st and the 8th of December. So the 1st, I'm going to see if I can get patrons first dibs on some of the events. And then the 8th would be opening to the general public. And if you do want, I would suggest at least getting your event in by then or a week before that, because people try to like map out their games and map out their schedules. So then when they go to event registration, yours is in there. They've got it all mapped out and targeted, if you will. Why is this coming up? Why do I have text edit? Oh, I don't need that. So there you go. So there you go. There you go, yeah. Maddie Q, good to see you. Eileen, good to see you. Badge 39, way to go, Jim. 39. So there's 38 people registered so far. Wayne was asking how many events we've had in the past. That's a good question. I don't know. 40 to 50, I think, is safe. BSRCon 1 or 2, it's between 40 and 50 at least. I still have to submit one. I think I'm going to run for sure. Probably Tales from the Loop. Maybe Delta Green, since I've got it all queued up and I've run it 4 times. So. All right. So let's go to print news, buddy. Oh, and I should probably put a link in the chat. We will have like a set time, like a couple, 3 hours or something. I'll put an event down for a social. Maybe Saturday night usually is always kind of the go-to. I don't know. Maybe I'm open to feedback. If you guys think Friday is going to be better to meet in the lounge at a certain time. People are bopping in and out of that between games all the time. So anyways, I'll put that out there. Oh, right then. Paint room. We had one last year. I don't think anybody participated in the paint room. Who's? I loved it for BSRCon 1, but not number 2. A number 1 and a number 2. Anyways. Print news. EEEEN world. All right. Vaesen. Lost Mountain Saga by Free League Publishing. This is out. I do not have it. It's an epic campaign of 5 mysteries. It's in the mysterious accidents plague the Swedish mining town of Falun, and a pious man takes it upon himself to get to the bottom of the problem via the PCs. Anybody pick this up yet? Free League game, how unexpected. I mean, I don't hate the player, hate the game. Blake, like, I don't do the release schedule, and it happened to be today, and it's by Free League. I mean, I don't know. Kingdom of Azadmir for Hearn World. Hardcover supplement, 60 bones. If you're a fan of Hearn, you may want to pick this one up. Oh, there's a request for Vason at BSRCon. You know, that may be something too. We have forums on our Discord, not to beat BSRCon 3 to death, but why not? If you're interested in playing a particular game, I mean, I would, if I was a player, I'd be like, hey, I wouldn't mind playing these games if anybody's willing to offer them. Might like push somebody into a particular direction as a game master. Because I think one, they want to run an interesting game that they know that'll be fun for them to run. But sometimes they're not sure if it'll fill or if there's going to be enough interest. Two great things that come great together. I don't know what I'm talking about. Delta Green, what? Art Dream Publishing. Yeah, 2 out of 3, baby, for Sean's interest. From the Dust. I'll probably pick that up in PDF. Many of my Delta Green, it's probably one of my favorite games that I own I don't know if I own the least of. That probably wouldn't be a fair statement, but I own many of the PDFs, but not a lot of the print books or modules. 2300 AD, Project Bayern, Mongoose Publishing. Ooh, $100. This is a box set of 4 softcover books and a poster map. Traveler, 2300 AD. Why do I feel like talking like that when I reference Traveler 2300 AD? I don't have any idea. But anyways. What's the difference between Traveler and Traveler 2300 AD? And don't say 2300. Orcus, I know you were. Uh-oh. Who's has got Azadmir? Or is it Azadmir? I don't know. Who says, how about a list of the top games we want to play? For sure. I should probably start a forum. Well, could we start a thread in there? Maybe a forum? I don't know. That may be one. Maybe something to list. Eileen planning to run OGOA. That's Old Gods of Appalachia at some point. I'm not sure what my schedule will look like in January. Fair enough. Does anyone play 2300 AD exclusively and not regular Traveler? I don't know. William says setting. That's the difference. It's just a setting. Okay. Mr. Hobbs, that is the difference. Good to see you, Mr. Hobbs. Joe Swick, good morning. Just going through some new releases. Question du jour is simply, are you going to be BSRCon playing or running or both? If you're playing, what games would you want to play? If you're running, what games are you considering running? S5E, super heroic role-playing, and Deadlands Archetype Card Set 4 by Pinnacle. We should have a contest and try to run a contest like kind of like a bingo card, right? Who has the longest titled RPG that we come across? Deadlands, maybe it's Savage Worlds Deadlands Archetype Card Set 4 by Pinnacle Entertainment, located in... Did I mention I'm getting over a cold? Concrud specifically. Joe says, I want to play whatever I haven't played that I can fit in. Yeah, there you go. That narrows it down, buddy. Commandroids. So Commandroids. Does the Salzwedel of Eric have this game, I wonder? Anytime I think, like Salzwedel, if you guys don't know Salzwedel, Salz on the Discord, He's a big mecha guy. He's a big fan of Mecha Hack, big mechs. And so whenever I've like many of us have probably been pigeonholed as the gamer nerd. So whenever Christmas comes around, somebody gets us something that they like, a Call of Duty shirt because they think we're a video gamer. I peg Salzwedel as Mecha Guy. That's so in my eyes, that's all he plays. He doesn't play anything else. He never runs anything else, which is totally false. But every time I see a print or a Kickstarter that has anything to do with mechs, does he have it? Mecha Hack, Mecha Heiny Ho. Indeed. How is that a bingo? It's not a bingo. It's it's like a thing on your card, or an inside joke, if you will. Happy to run the Smurfs RPG at BSer, just not sure it would have an audience. Oh, I'm not quite sure how to take that. I think you underestimate the BSer kind of attendees, Salt Heart. We might, I mean, we play Cocaine Shark. Goonies meets the Ghostbusters. I don't see why the Smurfs wouldn't fall in line. I will do what I can to fill that game for you, sir, if you put it on the list. And the last one, D&D coloring book. Look at that. Anybody color? I heard at one time, it may still be a thing where adults are like, hey, coloring for adults. It's not out. Smurfs is not out already. Kevin's working on it. So it might be like an exclusive, eh, Kevin? Kevin's part of the team putting that out. That's right. We got hitters. I might have to give some of these guys an honorary guest attendee, guest of honor badges. Industry guests of honor. I have that coloring book. So how many are the very anal retentive, color in the lines, got a shade colorers? Or were you like I'm going to color and it's just like circles around on a page all outside the lines? I think that's why I stopped coloring. Like, I got to stay in the lines. Very anal retentive about that. Smurfs will be published by Maestro Media spring 2024. Mark your calendars, folks. I'm gonna run Smurfs with OSE. Gargamel's Revenge. Yes, man. Yes. That would be good money. That should be a premium game. There are lines. There we go. I knew there'd be one, Victor. Good God. Run Smurf 40K in the grim Smurfness of the far Smurf. There is only Smurf. Oof. This is a rabbit hole. We've already gone down one before. Let's I'm trying not to have this whole thing devolve into mass chaos. All right. A mashup would be cool. I need to run a mashup. I don't know if I'm creative enough. What would I have a mashup of? I don't know. I probably just get analysis paralysis because there's so many that I would want to do. All right, here we go. EN World RPG crowdfunding news. Go visit enworld.org. Some of these would hit your guys' radar on previous streams, but we could see how they're doing. Deathmatch Island. So the folks at EN World post isn't all inclusive Kickstarter, crowdfunding, backer kit, whatever campaigns. they usually post them in the last week that they're around. So just so you know, so these are kind of World War II and Delta Green, easy. Sure, yes. Delta Green and forget about it. How about Cthulhu and forget about it? Sean, did you ever do Force 5 from Alderaan? Seems like a soft mashup to me. I kind of, Gabe. I guess the quick answer is sort of. I ran it for Harrigan and Wayne and Phil and Kevin, the group I play with every other Thursday, and did a short run. It was. I think I needed to play up the dirtiness of Inglorious Bastards, because that's Force 5 from Alderaan isn't like Force 10 from Navarone. It really is a mimic of Inglorious Bastards for Star Wars. So, kind of. I think I needed to amp up the nastiness of it. But it was okay. It was okay. So, kind of. Maybe that's the way to go. Force 5 from Alderaan. And run it D6 or hyperspace D6, maybe. Yeah, that might be an option. World War II and forget about it. That might be interesting. So so you're a squad of World War II army guys, and you have a guy in your trunk that you're taking somewhere to bury out in the middle of nowhere. Dude's in a Jeep trying to get rid of a body. Is my audio still around? Uh-oh. Jim, refresh, buddy. He can't hear me anyway. Can you guys still hear me? I hope so. Good. Thanks, Eileen. Refresh and it came back if it was just me. Thanks, Jim. All right. So Kickbacker Kit. Deathmatch Island. Anybody get in on this? So this is by Evil Hat Productions. Producers of Fate, Dresden Files, and a plethora of other products. They are at 126,000 of 30K. Congrats to them. They still have 11 days left. They're on Backer Kit. I mean, I guess I could put links in the chat to these campaigns too as we go through. Make it Nam. Try to get rid of the LT. Ooh. Oof. I don't know. That seems a little more of a serious game. I don't know. Maybe. Like the mashups like Kistastrophe, Murder on the Love Boat, Horror on Sesame Street, Lima Charlie. If you like Squid Game, back Deathmatch Island. Yeah. I really do like the look and feel of this game. I don't think it's my jam. Well, and here's the thing. I haven't watched Squid Game. I've watched Mr. Beast's Squid Game. I love the smell of Azeroth in the morning. Yeah. Apocalypse Now. I don't know. I'll think about it. I mean, I could just rip off Michael Brown, who did run those games that I mentioned. Just do like Horror on Sesame Street. I mean, the design of this looks super cool. I will say that. Somebody somewhere. I would be interested to know like who came up with this. Okay, here's the deal. We produce it like a kind of like a technical manual, maybe, I guess. Oh, excuse me. I don't know. Maybe I could be swayed to get it just because it looks cool. And I bet you the hardcover is going to be phenomenal, honestly. And what is it? $30? That's pretty reasonable. $30 and a PDF. Limited editions $45. That is such like a 1970s technical manual if I've ever seen one. It's fantastic. That design is really on point. I agree. For sure. I mean, survival kit, $95. Look at all this stuff. So the survival kit, you get Deathmatch Island limited edition cover, hardcover, PDF, feature alternate cover and end papers, plus 2 ribbon bookmarks. It will not be reprinted. So going back to get the limited edition, resell it later. The interior text and artwork will be exactly the same as the standard edition. You get fold-out maps, in-game handouts, booklets for each island, cash sheets, DMI forms, a production guide, a competitive guide, play-to-win tear-off pad, Deathmatch Island beans can label. So that's the label. So you don't get the can. You got to get the can, put the label on it, and all the rewards from the $15 digital level. Here's all the details there listed. I mean, look at that. That is. But I run so many. I wonder how this plays at a con. Because I don't run a lot of face-to-face, which I have an update, by the way, on face-to-face games. But I may kick in for this. Funny thing is, I'll kick in for it. It'll be great. I'll never get to the table. And some of these games, because of what they have to offer, are really awesome in person, right? When you get these, get the maps and get the little tchotchkes that are very thematic. Anyways, good for Evil Hat. Battle Royale would be great for a con. I'm a sucker for Helvetica and backed it. Looks like the NASA brand standards. Yes, Jason, that's right. NASA stuff, right? For sure. It's like totally every weird laboratory setting in some TV show or movie kind of thing. Stranger Things, if they had to put textbooks out for, The Loop and Tales from the Loop, that would be right off the shelf. SOP, standard operating procedures, whatever. Lineages of the Long White Cloud from Kelly Makes Games. This is a 5th edition source book. Looks like from New Zealand. And Tim Denis is the key creator behind Deathmatch Island. So I think he's involved in this too. Interesting. It's hit its goal. Lineage of the White Cloud. The project takes some of the iconic wildlife of the island and turns them into playable races. Not only do you get new options for your PCs to embrace, you get some details such as the native names. For example, the fantail, a bird, has its original name restored to Piwakawaka and then given stats for 5e. Interesting. So $1,000 pledge level, 1,000 New Zealand dollars, and funded. I think it is listed as New Zealand dollars, but I don't know on the Kickstarter if it's been translated over. Gubat Banwa, we brought this up prior when it was about to launch. It's obviously successful Kickstarter. Tactical TTRPG that imagines larger-than-life characters engaged in over-the-top battles. Refulgent cultures of Southeast Asia. So 40K goal, they hit 71. Congratulations to them. The Molt, compatible with Merc Borg. It's a core rulebook, $30. So Brian Colin, creator of Vast Grim, understands and evaluates all the elements that make board games fun. His artwork, sculpting, da-da-da-da-da. So I think, this must be his, right? Yes. 8,000 of a $5,000 goal. Nice. Hellslayers from Fragging Unicorn Games. Or FUG. Smirkborg. $40. Project inspired by video games Doom, System Shock, and Half-Life. So expect violence from both the ideas and the engine. In a done future, you play as a Hellslayer, a true believer, or a convict conscript fighting against the alien monsters that invaded a dying Earth. As a Hellslayer, you're fighting to preserve the planet, or maybe a corpo's quarterly report. Just funded, $5,300 to $5K. Scurvy Buggers, found family RPG from 9th Level Games. Polymorph System. I've not had the pleasure of playing Polymorph System. I'm going to call it a Cthulhu game with Sherlock Holmes, Columbo, Jessica Fletcher, and Jim Rockford, and Hercule Poirot. There's a mashup. That's a good one. I wouldn't mind doing that. I've always thought about doing like Feng Shui. You know, the what is that stupid movie with all the action heroes? I can't even remember. It was that good. The Indestructibles or whatever they're called. And everybody plays an action hero. Create a wish list Google Sheet for BSRCon 3. See pin in Discord. Thanks, Hoos. See you later, Kev. Expendables. Thanks, Chris. The Expendables. Just take all the archetypes out of Feng Shui and just... The problem is a lot of them are... Other than the short guy, martial artist. Dude, I can't think of names to save my life anymore. That's what you guys are here for. Most of them are gun nuts, right? Like machine guns, shoot 'em up. There's some punch kick, but like Jackie Chan would be cool in there. Chuck Norris, whatever. It should be like all those guys at 70 years old. Like they're all done, like finished. Retired action heroes that get pulled in to save the world. Forget About It plus X-Files. There's an alien body in the trunk. Jet Li, that's the one. Thanks, Harrigan. Scurvy Buggers. 9th level games. $5,000 of a 2K target. For fans of Found Pirate Family and Our Flag Means Death, this polymorph TTRPG takes the best of the zany world of TV pirate antics and brings it to tabletop. Negocius Infernals from Hernanduni. Oh my goodness. Not only can I not think of names, I can't pronounce them either. Core rulebook and a deck of cards. Beautifully illustrated concept, a deck of cards that acts as both a TTRPG and story generator. Concept, aliens interrupt the Spanish Inquisition. Sounds like Monty Python parody. Don't say it. Don't go there. Maybe it is. I don't know. The locals treat the aliens as gods, and there are magical powers to use. It's the creator behind it, C.S. Cooney and Carlos Hernandez, award-winning authors that pushed this idea into a unique place. GMless and diceless. Playing individuals that work for the aliens as you attempt to save the world. If the idea of cards, powers, and great art speaks to you, check out the campaign. 17K of a 10K goal. Very nice. The Haunting of Devil's Hollow, an 80s adventure module. 5th edition. Okay. $2,000 of a $500 goal. From USA Today best-selling author Tina Glasnick. It's an adventure for levels 3 to 8, set in the 80s. This project deals with the world new 5e monsters, magic items, maps as you deal with a mystery including clues, puzzles, and more. The adventure should fit nicely alongside Evil Genius Games' everyday heroes. Natural 6, new in D&D adventure, actual play stream. £20 for several digital rewards. Actual play puts actors such as Doug Cockle, Harry McIntyre, Elf Wilson. Sorry, Mr. Wilson, Mrs. Wilson. I cannot pronounce your first name because I'm an idiot. Several other named creators together to make a big name UK-based D&D actual play. Wow, £50,000 goal. They're at 42,000. £50,000 goal, man. What do you need to run a live stream? Probably pay the people, because that's not what I do. What's up, Aaron? Speaking of in-person play. Jason Statham. Aren't they all technically short except Arnold? Yeah. So I think Arnold's not that tall. Or is that the joke? So the Expendables, they're basically all 70. Yeah, for sure. Aaron Rayleigh, speaking of in-person play, Kelly, a pre-gen popular kid, teamed up with her little sister, current boyfriend. Is that from your Tales from the Loop, Demon Grinder? Pre-gen popular kid teamed up with her little sister's current boyfriend? The World Below from Onyx Publishing. Onyx Path Publishing, Sean. On Backer Kit. Core rulebook. Their description makes it seem like they are chasing the CR Wembley Stadium money. Arnie's 6'2", man, or used to be. Was he? So, okay. I thought he was shorter in that. I already had to bump him up. Aaron says, and a new boy she's keen on to investigate shenanigans at the high school. Very nice. Wayne, heading out to Sam. Take care. See ya, Wayne. Sorry, message sent early. Yeah, so there you go. The World Below. It's kind of weird how they have the title of the book and then the text on the background, and it almost looks like it's all one thing across the top. Yes, Tales from the Loop, Sean. How you like that game, man? Like that game? That is listed height. Yes, listed height, who says? I heard Arnold's shorter than like people think, but they shoot him to make him look taller. I've seen him next to some bodybuilders. He's not that tall, right? 6'2". I think that's a stretch, man. I don't know. Who the hell do I know? What the hell do I know? I'm sitting here arguing about Arnold Schwarzenegger's height. Let's see what else we got. I have something I want to put up. Did I put up RPG Tinder before? I thought I did one stream. You could find your next D&D group with RPG Tinder. If you struggle to find a D&D group that matches your schedule or are worried about playing with strangers, the RPG Match app is designed to help. So, I think I did bring this up. This is an article about the app. Obviously not the app itself. Duh. Duh. I'll pull it up. I do have an account. Well, because, you know, the players I game with are like, oh, see Sean? He's on Tinder. He's on RPG Match. I wonder what that's all about. Cheating on us? No, man. Why? I saw your profile on RPG Match. Oh, shit. It's not just D&D. No, it's so... Here. I went there. I mean, it's a fine app. I think I brought it up on stream before. I tried to paste it in the chat. There, I pasted it in the chat. It's just, I don't think it's deep enough. And maybe it's still going. So I will log in and I'll show you my profile. Damn. Are you sure RPG Match isn't for a different kind of role playing? No, I don't, but Jesus. God, I hope not. So it's obviously a mobile web-based or mobile format. So that's why it looks a little wonky on my web browser. So user list, boom. It's not I don't think on a mobile it's a swipe right, swipe left. So the Tinder piece is like, however, it does take like what you put in and then puts a match of percentage. So like this one at the top is 44%, 45%, 56%. I'm sure I can filter it by these things, player type, age range, you know, blah, blah, blah. My profile, I'll show you my profile. So here's my profile: username, location, time zone, gender, age, and it just kind of puts you in an age category, not like your actual age. And there's some badges you have. Like I've got a Game Master badge, a player badge, Roll20 badge, a Owlbear badge, and whatever, and a Free League badge. Gaming platforms that you could choose, social media, languages, identity tags, I guess you could put in there as well. RPG games played. So you could pick from a list. I just put in not play anything. Because experiment. You know, I'm like, hey man, I'll play. I'm up for anything, man. Fatal. Yeah, man, bring it. I'll try everything once. Okay, this is about to get a little weird. Availability. It says the user has no availability. I'm too busy, man. Game preferences. So this is, I think, is neat. Role-playing, combat, exploring, optimizing mechanics, social intrigue, puzzles, player-driven story. Those are all sliders. Kind of on what your preference of style play is. It should be like style of play preferences. I don't know, maybe. Because I think these aren't game preferences. I think it's a like style preference. But whatever. What do I know? Importance of safety tools. LGBTQIA plus friendly games. Which is a weird question. Only because, like, do people actually say no to that? I guess they would. But I guess is it because you would have LGBTQIA plus themes in your game? So if you don't like those themes in the game, you would say no? I don't know. I mean, I get what it's like kind of going after. Is like you could, you know, folks that are looking for those specific games. These are the ones that are offering those. Those are the ones I'm interested in. I don't know. I'm perplexed only because I wouldn't care, me personally. Like, so yeah, of course I put yes. Am I okay with character death? Although I will say, like, sex in my RPGs aren't played out like in the first person anyway, like go off screen, whatever. Some people dump on safety tools. Yes, sure. I guess I don't know if I see it as a safety tool necessarily. Is that what it is? Is that the underlying theme? Is safety tools? Then just like, I don't know, just put in like, do you use safety tools? Am I okay with character death? Depends on the game. I put optional questions. I don't know what that's for. I don't know. I guess I could pose that to other people that might be interested in. But there's a profile, and then it just has a user list. So it's simple, straightforward, which is nice. It's not overly complex. You could star some of the folks that are in the user list to maybe hit up. So I think it's a decent shot at it. It is. I would have to say this. If people are looking for games, they could go to Roll20. They could go to their local game store. They could go to a Discord. They could go to a game-specific forum or something like that. But they're not going to capture a lot of this, which is good for them. So it is another public bulletin board with a little bit more grit to it. So I don't know. I hope they have success. Or they could just, start. It's better than, or quicker than, I shouldn't say better than. It's quicker than starting a podcast, growing a community, running events for some of them, and then figuring out, like, if anybody's interested in playing Forbidden Lands or something along those lines. Long path, very rewarding, though. So there you go, RPG match. No fees. No. No fees for me. Well, that's the thing, too. Good question. It's like, well, how are they going to make money? There's a guy, person from Germany there. United States, Oklahoma, United States, United Kingdom, California, which is another country. Just kidding, Californians. British Columbia, Canada, Brussels, Copenhagen, Seoul, Tokyo, Osaka, nice, Brazil. There is a paid, it looks like there is a pro version, but I don't know what the pro version gets you. Because this one's pro. People from all over, which is great. Great. Just keeps going and going and going. That's fine, Sean. You just took the long way to get there. Yeah, right? Orcus Dorcas. Getting high and eating avocado toast. Stay wacky, California. Stay wacky. I think that's a Austin thing, but stay weird, Austin. That's what I wanted to bring up. Another one was, what else do I want to bring up? Oh, I'm going to bring this up. I haven't read this, but I am interested. If anybody is interested in this, maybe not. I saw it posted kind of under Geek Native. Got a post like this week in RPGs, and then they have a the paid part is the Tinder part. It is? Maybe it is. Anyways, the Geek Native has a this week in RPGs, and then they have like from blogs and articles that they find on the web. And this is where I found this one. So the author is Marcia B, or Traverse Fantasy on X or Twitter, whatever we're calling it these days. And Marcia is load. Hey Elon, why don't you get it to load faster, man? Notorious girl blogger Marks Freud, do-it-yourself elf games, wrote retro clone, whatever. So this is her account, and she has a blog at traversefantasy.blogspot.com. And this, I think she wrote this blog a while ago, and then she's revisioned it and trimmed down some of the word count, is my understanding. Yeah, where it says right here in the beginning, which you probably can't read because it's pretty small. So let me blow it up. This is a revision of my 2022 blog post, shortened for publication in Knock. And also for clarification, the OSR should die. Basic edition. Okay, so before everybody freaks out, is the OSR dead yet? If you ask some, they would say yes. There was a body of cultural knowledge which has been rendered inaccessible for some reason to hobbyists who are working in the same space. What is old is new again, so people are talking about random encounters and reaction rolls as if they had discovered them themselves, like Christopher Columbus discovering the Americas. So I'll put a link to this blog post. Go check it out. Give her full credit here. But I thought it was interesting. Some of these, like, some blog articles I find intriguing because it's interesting to see where they're coming from, as long as it's not a complete and utter hit piece. And I don't think this is one of them. I haven't read the whole thing, full disclosure, but continuing on, they said they weren't the first ones there. And if you were to ask Ramanan Sivaranajan from the Save versus Total Party Kill blog, no one had left either. The OSR is not dead because he's still there, and as are others from the time of G+, who are also still doing their own thing. So how can something be dead and alive at the same time? It could be a difference of definitions. It could also be a zombie. So OSR moniker always stirs up conversation, and that's one reason why I figured I'd look it up to see where this goes. Marcia continues, an authoritative definition of the OSR is difficult, some of us already know, to arrive at because any one definition is sure to attract contention from groups that self-identify with the term. So these parties are not necessarily mutually exclusive with each other, but they tend to embody particular perspectives on the term owing to their different time periods, social networks, or activities, including play, communication, and organization, among other factors. So trying to invent or assert a definition of the OSR is itself participating in the discourse surrounding the OSR. It's self-referential and often self-serving. It is worthwhile instead to consider the multiplicity of the OSR as an empty signifier, i.e. a signifier that signals nothing, to understand why people try to answer the question, what is the OSR? So in doing so, we can criticize not just the apparent existence of a singular and true OSR, but also the role that the mere term OSR plays in establishing collective identities through false imagined histories. A history of anything is always going to be biased towards one view than another. Therefore, I will not consider the history of a particular OSR or an offshoot thereof, but of the term OSR and to what it has been applied. Then I will address what I believe is the real question at hand, not when the real OSR started and ended, but why the term the OSR has been adopted by different groups with different interests and relations to the hobby. Hardcore AD&D players, do-it-yourself D&D bloggers, or commercial book publishers. So I put a link in the chat. Y'all can digest this. I don't think I'm going to read the whole thing verbatim. I may skim it here. But I think it might be interesting, not only because I think some of us appreciate whatever we figure is OSR to us, I guess, if it's a personal thing. Marcia goes in to say the term old school revival, old school renaissance, and then kind of how it came up and how it's been conveyed. Third edition posed a problem, but it's also a solution owing to the promiscuous open game license. Yeah, good. This is the most comprehensive and accurate take on the OSR I have seen, says Tim Jensen. That's so little bit of a like the title. People will be like, "What?" And I saw some comments on Twitter because I'm like, "Whoa, what is this all about, huh?" That said, this was a killer read. I've only crossed the divide from petty tribalism on the pro story game side in the last year or so. So a lot of this history and insight was really useful, which I think is so. If people are like, okay, I tried D&D, there's some story games, I came through this path, but OSR, I've seen it brought up in circles. People said, have you tried this OSR? Or what, have you tried this game? Tell me about it. Well, it's kind of OSR. I don't know what that means. Insert definition here, reference play style here or there. So I think this article may be something that's positive for folks that aren't, I don't want to say the uninitiated because that seems a little, elite, if you will, but for those that don't know much about it, which is probably the uninitiated, right? So I wanted to share it with you guys, get your thoughts on it. I appreciate thought-provoking blog articles, and I think that would be one of them. So they continue in the comments on Twitter where it was, it would appear that while we have been modern, we also have never been OSR. Excellent. Oh, don't need to answer that. No, that's a terrific write-up. Yes, we achieved our goal of reviving old school gaming. That doesn't mean it's dead. It brought up a host of new games. We just don't need anyone to translate Gygax, Arneson, Metzner, or Holmes et al. Anymore. And soon we will have Acts 2. Adventure Conqueror King. I think that's Acts 2 is what they're referencing. And then it said reread it. It didn't say it's dead. So somebody probably just looked at the title. Great read. I've been playing D&D since 2E, 1990, and OSR always feels less like a play style and more like an aesthetic to me. It feels nebulous in definition, but unmistakable when seen. Another one. I've been looking for that third image for a long time. Too long didn't read. If OSR is a dead term, how else can I weaponize my hatred of 5e and those that praise it? So I'll also link to the Twitter post. Jim says, I don't usually use the term OSR, even though that's how I think most people would describe my game style. I'd be fine with the term dying. And I think that's some of the gist of this whole blog article, right? So check it out. I thought it was an interesting read. Thanks, Marcia, to putting it out there. I thought we have an intelligence group. It was intelligently put, and very worthy a read for sure. So I think that's one I wanted to put out there. Otherwise, am I missing anything? The best OSR definition is "oh shit, run," or it's "oh shit, run." What's up, DSR? It's a reference to Drink Spin Run, the podcast. So I think I'm going to wrap this sucker up because it'll give me time before my 11 a.m. Central game running Delta Green, Music from a Darkened Room. If you've shown up and did not hit the like button, please do. Appreciate it. What else? Oh, I mentioned there's been an update in the gaming circle sphere. Maybe. So my buddy Jeff, he wants to kick off a game this month, November. It might be a stretch, but we'll see. There's a holiday somewhere in there. And as we enter holidays, kicking off a game could be hit or miss. He's very much OSE or Castles and Crusades. He doesn't care which one. My buddy Joe, I think, is going to run. So I will be player. Jeff and I have gone back on text messages here and there, and he's like, I don't really care which one we play. I think they both inhabit a game style that I'm looking forward to, right? And he's just like, I just don't want to play anything that WotC puts out. So, okay, Jeff. But I've always tried to get him to articulate, like, why OSE, why Castles and Crusades? And he's like, well, they're similar games. And I'm like, I tend to disagree wholeheartedly on that. I told him that's another podcast topic, like, and he's like, okay, that's fair. So we'll see where it goes. Up more to come. But I will say this: he's like, I got you a Christmas gift. I wasn't going to tell you, until I gave it to you. But, he kills me. He took OSE and repackaged it, all the art. So he literally opened it up in an app, PDF, changed the cover, and then he went through the interior art and replaced some of the interior art with the old art, probably, and from different sources. He's not reselling it. Okay, so he's not going to sell it. And he gets super jazzed about this. Hey, right, and you're right to disagree on the difference between OSE and CNC. I don't have a disagreement on OSE and CNC, but I don't want somebody coming to me and saying OSE and CNC is the same type of game. And I'm like, no, it's not, Jeff. Like, CNC has elements of third edition. And okay, so let's keep this in mind. I'm not banging on one or the other. They're just different. And to say that they're similar game styles and play is misleading, right? Dude, Sean, that is super cool. That is a very, very thoughtful gift. It is. I don't know if I can. I guess I could show pictures. He sent me, so he got his prototype, and he's like, "I got my prototype." So he just couldn't wait. Like, it would have been a surprise. I would have been very, very touched. I am still very, very touched. Don't get me wrong. He's done this before with Star Trek. He took, like, Unicorn Games Star Trek, and I think Unicorn Games is Star Trek. If I used to have a copy of it, because I think he gifted us all copies of it so we could play it. But I think it might also be very text heavy. Like, I don't know if it has as many pictures that it could. And so he went in there. If you've never tried it, I mean, I talked to him and I said, like, Jeff, what is this running you? Like $70? And he's like, well, $45, $45 plus shipping. So it's, I don't know what the ethics is around that. He's not selling it. I'm fully clear. Like, gifting it might be, well, then you're taking something, you're buying it, and then you're giving it away, which might be questionable, right? You should probably buy it, but I own it, so there's that. But people used to do this with the Star Wars Revised, which I think came out after the original D6, right? Revised and updated. And they got, like, somebody did the cover, and they had, like, 2 covers you could, like, download with full bleed, put it up on Lulu, and get, like, a brand new book. And they looked fantastic. And the person that provided the files didn't charge anybody for it. So there's no money interaction, only just to get it printed. But except a GM could run them more or less the same. Oh, maybe more or less. It's still covered under personal use because it's not selling it. Yeah. So I'm not here to argue the legalities or ethics behind it. You know what? I actually, probably, actually I won't. I may put the images on our Discord, but he showed the cover, and it's very much OSE cover, but the inset was from the basic cover, right? So the wizard, Errol Otis, he used that and put that into the inset of the cover, and then it says OSE, and then he put the corner banner basically that said Basic Expert Rules. It looks pretty cool, and I know it probably took a shit ton of time. If you look closely at the family of OSE products GIF that we all love, Gabe, CSC's on there. Oh, I'm just kind of reading out. My bad, guys, for injecting myself. And he's not pirating. He bought it and changed it. Yeah. And he's doing what, Gavin couldn't do, right? He okay, I bought it. I have the book. I don't like any of the art in there. And I bought the things that I got the art from. And I'm not reselling it. I'm repurposing it. The minute he tries to sell that thing, and then it's like, no, red flags, not going to happen. So anyway, he did show me some pictures on the inside. So probably where some of the monsters are, he took out the monster work that Gavin Norman put in OSE and replaced it with some of the monster work from, BX, probably Monster Manual, the original Monster Manual, and some other ones. But that was kind of it. So it is an interesting look for sure. And it'll be very nice. And he's given me one and my buddy Joe a copy. So, and then I told him I was going to buy him role-playing games because one of the things that I told him was, I said, we should just try something else. Try this. And he's like, I don't want to buy any more role-playing games. I've given up a lot of them because they weren't getting played. So these are the two games that he's kind of set on because he doesn't want to buy any. So I said, I will just buy them for you, and I take that objection away. So if I said, we're going to play Forbidden Lands, there's like, what's your argument? You don't want to play Forbidden Lands, or you don't want to buy it? So we'll see. I may put the pictures on Discord to kind of show people what he did. But I also have seen, I think the Gamehole guys they put new covers on their, I think at the time, 5th edition books, I think it was. And this was before Hydro did the covers, the alternate covers. See ya, Jim. See you in a bit. Hydro did the covers. They took it to a bookbinder, had the original covers ripped off, and then recovered with like just black, and then on the spine in red, I guess metallic, right? The shiny, and then just put like the. So I just wanted. It's kind of interesting. I mean, you're probably talking, if you buy the books of a game and then you have them repackaged, you're probably going to pay double of what they are, but they're unique. Like, it'd be very surprising that anybody else would have a similar copy as yours. So I've seen those, and I've seen that as being pretty cool. I wanted to share with you guys. Because there's some RPGs like this. No, I could rip the cover off and make it a better cover. I definitely would. Even the Delta Green. I'm a fan of Delta Green, not a fan of the covers. Like if I were to repackage Delta Green, I might make the player cover maybe similar to something like the old classic Top Secret, or just like a file that says Top Secret on it, stamped or confidential. I don't know. A slipcover would be cheaper. That's not a bad idea. Getting a slipcover printed with whatever and then put that on there. That's actually pretty economical. Have you done that, Tim? So anyways, So that's that. Playing Cyborg this Thursday. Missed Star Trek last week, so that's postponed. So next week, Star Trek Adventures, running through some scenarios. Jason says the Delta Green cover guy is a barrier to entry. I'm not a fan of seeing specific faces on covers. I agree. It's a terrible choice. I don't know why they did that. As a matter of fact, Detwiller is an artist, so much of the artwork in much, if not all, of the artwork in Delta Green books, even the faces and profiles, are typically done by him, and he's phenomenal. I just would have chosen different covers for the core books, for sure. Impossible Landscapes, it's a fine cover, but Night at the Opera is kind of hit or miss. But I agree with you, Jason. Tim says, I printed out some stuff and put it in 3-ring binders, but it looks bad. Yeah, that wouldn't be my first choice. I would like to get them rebound, but, they're not cheap. Well, and the thing is if you have a physical copy and you take it to a local place, well, you're gonna get charged. If you take the PDF and send it to Lulu, I don't know, it might even be cheaper than going local. It's all digital, and then it comes back print. But you gotta know what you're doing, I think. Like, is it full bleed? Is it not full bleed? And layout? Like, I'm sure that online tools make it easy. But anyways, wanted to share that. And then BSRCon 3. What else? No other news announcements that I can think of. So I'm gonna let this one go. I'm gonna let you guys get on with your day, your weekend, have fun doing what you're gonna do, spending time with the people that you appreciate. And hope to see you next week here, 8 a.m. Central Time every Saturday, barring some catastrophic emergency. So yeah, be a positive force in the tabletop RPG hobby. Join our Discord, links down below if you haven't joined. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Much appreciated. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.